Yeah, so for the entire time I was working out, I didn't really have a set plan. I pretty much just kind of went off like what my buddies were saying in college, going off like their plans and all that stuff. And then when I moved to Florida, I started working with IFBB. Well, I think he's a former pro now, but the programs he was providing were a lot of workouts without actually giving any nutritional inputs as well. He would pass along like good recipes, but not setting macros for people, which
Right.
unless you're willing to pay like $800 a month, you wouldn't be, getting none of those benefits. So I kind of just started working on my own and trying to figure it out. And it did work on getting some growth, but not really the like goals that I was working for. So
Right.
I was sticking with those, and I did that same workout plan and kind of adjusted some of the workouts and phases to kind of switch up my plan and get a little bit more like a little bit more, surprise to my workouts. And
Right.
it worked out, but it was definitely still not what I was looking for. So I started looking for all these plans. I came across you guys.
Like when you were deciding to like shift and like make a change in the program that you were in to the one we're doing now, what do you feel like was like the biggest struggle that you were going through at the time?
I mean, the tough thing was it was life as well as, just not having the right nutritional plan, especially for these. Like, I think that's been one of the biggest, game changers to what I've been doing. Getting those macros really does help because the working out part's the easy thing, but, sticking to those macros and eating right definitely, makes it a game changer. And I definitely know that, if you're like majority of the difference you're going to see is from what you're doing in the kitchen, not from actually at the gym.
Yeah, because you were working out like that program you were doing before was like 2 hours in the gym, like nonstop.
Yeah, 2 hours, drop sets, supersets, 6, 7 days a week, like all that stuff, just way too much.
And you were consistent the entire time.
Oh yeah, literally every day. I mean, I still am, but
yeah, I know.
But yeah, definitely, a little bit less time. Definitely not spending 2 hours. I mean, when you include cardio, but definitely not spending 2 hours in the gym.
Like I know we've lost like 20 pounds, 15 pounds, 20 pounds. But when you came into it, that wasn't even necessarily like a goal, right? Like you were like, I don't know if I want to lose weight or gain weight. So like when you think about your progress from start to where we're at now, how do you describe it?
Well, it's really funny because I did come into this, wanting to, lose some of that fat and then, gain muscle in the process. But I definitely know that in the past when I've done, programs, it's been more about, you're still gaining muscle, but you're still holding on to a little bit of the fat. So I think my goals actually changed once I started seeing the progress. So instead of thinking about, just being, big and, just like, ridiculously muscular, I kind of more focused on where my age is for one. And that's two, also, just thinking about, being a lot more healthier. So I think, the progress has been amazing. Like I'm getting stronger every single, week that I'm doing stuff. I'm, surpassing PRs and I'm getting shredded in the process. So it's awesome. I love it every single aspect.
Good. Yeah. It's, I appreciate you being like open and honest about that too. Cause I feel like a lot of guys come in that same position to where they're like, yeah, I just want to put on a bunch of muscle. And then I see like the first progress pictures and I'm like, well, dude, we got to lose some fat too. And like people aren't like receptive to that because you probably relate to this. And I relate to this too. I hate looking small, right? I don't ever want to look small, but like people don't realize that it's like, you can actually lose weight and build muscle and look bigger then with less body fat versus just trying to build muscle. And that's exactly what we kind of did with you. And I appreciate you actually being receptive to the feedback we give you.
And the issue is like coming into all these, influences that you see on social media, like these, big dudes that are just, absolutely shredded, but you also don't realize that they're probably, potentially taking stuff to, and do that. They're also probably, cheating the system outside of, drugs as well. But they're definitely doing it. Their body genetics are also completely different. So you can't really base it off of that. You kind of got to figure out what your own body will do.
Yeah, exactly. Like everybody's skeptical when they start. And if you say you aren't, you're just lying, right? Like there's a little skepticism going into it. We just meet one time on a call online and then you're, paying a certain amount to do a program. Like what was like the hesitations like starting?
Yeah, well, it actually goes to my girlfriend, which is, kind of funny because she actually works with a personal trainer as well. So before then, I like I said about my past experience, just paying all this money and not seeing results. It's always, a big risk for people that, especially if they're not, fully invested in the plan to, really pull the trigger. So doing all those researches, I was like, I want to try it. And I honestly, for real, like we started, I was like, I'll probably do it for a few months and then, we'll see how it goes from there. But as my, progression started getting so much better, I was like, I'm locked in. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause we realized like, all right, yeah, I spent like so much time doing this and I didn't see the results I wanted. Then I spent this short amount of time seeing more results than ever. Like imagine if you actually stick with it long term, like what's the change I'm going to see with my physique? Like you're going to get like, especially during this deficit that we're in right now, going back into increasing the calories, your body's going to utilize that energy so much more efficiently for just building muscle. And that's how you like naturally like hack building muscle in a natural way.
Well, yeah, and that's definitely something as well that adds to what I was saying just now is that, like, it's also like the calls, like, even though it's not daily, which I mean, you can't do that every day,
right.
But, it does reassure you, like, talking to you, talking to Colin, it really does, give me that reassurance that I'm making right progress. I'm following everything that you guys are saying and I'm listening and, putting what you guys tell me into action. So the calls really do, they do make a difference because there are some trainers that will do it like once a month, or they'll just focus on, solely their top clients that they've, been with for a while. So it's like the fact that you guys do these with, majority of your clients, if not all of them, is huge.
Yeah. Well, I've talked to so many coaches and like a lot of them are really big on like saving time for themselves and automating as much as they can. And like, they do a lot of like, all right, you submit a form at the end of the week and then we'll look at the form and we'll provide feedback. And that's like their whole form of communications through an app. It's just like, hey, submit this. You have to answer these questions and then we'll provide feedback. And that always just rubbed me the wrong way because it's like you're signing up for a coach. You're not signing up for like a computer, right? Like you want somebody to reach out to you and be like, hey, what's going on? Like we'll always ask you like, hey, what's going on this week? What's the work schedule? What's the nutrition plan? What's the workouts looking like? Even though we're providing that stuff for you, we know it changes sometimes, right? So like we want to like stay up to date with what you're going through. And I think that is a big benefit for like Colin and I having the in-person experience of like working with people and knowing that we need to know like what's going on, what you're feeling in the gym, what like if you're not feeling it work the right muscle group, like the amount of adjustments we make to programs throughout the phases is like crazy, but it's needed, right? Like if you don't have a specific piece of equipment, now you're thinking like, all right, what can I do as an alternative for this instead of like, hey guys, and you take a picture, I have this instead. Does this work? Yeah, that works. We'll put it into the program. Right?
Well, yeah, and exactly. And on top of it as well, like you guys are, really good, especially on, like for people that like me that travel a lot for work, like adjusting those to hotel workouts and, maybe, adjusting some of the stuff so that, the work trips are a little bit easier for me to, do what I'm doing for work as well as being able to make some time to get into the gym. Even if it's a shorter workout, it's still me getting in there and, getting the job done.
Yeah, I mean, dude, you travel so much for work and just for life in general. So it's like if we don't make the adjustments, we're basically you're basically doing this whole thing on your own, and that's not what we want to do for this. What surprised you the most about the program? Like, what was like kind of like eye opening for you with it?
Well, I mean, it was more of the, I guess for the actual workouts part, it was the adjustments. So I like that we're not sticking to the same exercises. Like even if it's the same goal, we're changing them up every phase, and then we'll come back to specific ones like in the next phase or, down the road. Like some of the workouts that I have this phase, I remember a good amount of them from like 3 phases ago that were really good, but we haven't done them in a while. So I was like, okay, cool. We're going to these back. They're going to be fun. And then the nutrition side, I think it's like the adjustments and all that stuff. Like it is, it's kind of, I wasn't expecting like, for one, like getting as much carbs as I was getting, especially when you already are having a lot of carbs, then having to add like a ton more, it's like, oh my God. Yeah. It's like, okay. and then it gets dropped to this calorie deficit, it's like, it's just, it's crazy just how much stuff shifts. And then like you said on the previous one, it's the, the touch points that you guys make. I definitely wasn't expecting that kind of collaboration, reaching out.
Awesome. That's awesome, man.